Thank you, Mr. Chairman. It's a pleasure for me to introduce to you today Chris Wooldridge with Murray State University Kentucky Small Business Development Center. Chris has been with Murray State University since 2008. He is a former entrepreneur and has over 20 years of experience in the banking and financial services community and has a long list of financial background that he has done over the past several years. He's a Rotarian and served the city of Murray, Murray-Callaway County Hospital, Murray Main Street, as well as many other organizations throughout the region. Chris received his undergraduate MBA from Murray State University, and additionally he graduated from the Kentucky School of Insurance, the Kentucky School of Banking, and received certification through the Kentucky Institute for Economic Development. He is a member of the Kentucky Association of Economic Development and a graduate of Delta Regional Authority Leadership Institute. In his current role as District Director, he oversees outreach and delivery of business consulting throughout 24 counties in Western Kentucky. Please help me welcome Mr. Chris Wooldridge.
Good morning. Good morning. How's everyone this morning? Everybody's good? Awesome. I want to carry you around and let you introduce me at other places. You did a great job. I appreciate that this morning. I shared with the judge. He said, you had quite a drive this morning. And I shared with him, I said, yes, I left at about 7:30, assuming that I would have some delays, because if you've been on the other side of the rivers, we're tearing up every single bit of pavement. Construction has just been tremendous, obviously I-69 as well as some of the roads in our communities. And I cut over at the Slaughter's exit. I hit 81, and I told him I got behind 3 combines, a grain truck, and some guy trying to pull a homemade trailer. But got here just in time, much to Lois's chagrin. I'm sure she actually wanted to do a presentation. Oh, she said no. So. But I appreciate the opportunity to speak with you. It's been a great opportunity to work with such a great team. And the university and our partnership with the KSBDC, I want to just share with you a couple of things about the program and where it's looked in the past year, the production and the impact that it's had over the last 5 years within our region. First, I want to start off by recognizing the team that we have here in Owensboro. Lois Decker and Patricia Hudson, if you guys would stand, if you haven't had an opportunity to meet them or work with them, please take they do a tremendous job. Lois goes through about 4 or 5 sets of tires on that car a year, it seems like. You do a lot of driving, and of course if you live in West Kentucky, you don't get around without driving. So we go through a lot of tires, but she does a tremendous amount of work, and we appreciate her hard work. And Patricia does a great job trying to keep her in line and keep her pointed in the right direction as well. Just a couple of things. I'm going to be very brief. I was told that, the 3 B's: be early, be brief, and be seated. So we're going to try to move through to those. Just real briefly, for those of you who may not be familiar with the SBDC at Murray State University, we're a partnership with the Kentucky Small Business Development Center Network, which is a funding source through the Small Business Administration. The SBA is a funding partner of ours and works with each state with either an economic development entity or with a higher education entity to provide funding throughout the state for different programs. So we have a relationship with them. This is kind of our mission, and as you can see, what we try to do is have positive impact in the region through entrepreneurship, through economic and entrepreneurial development. And our mission is to really move the needle on wealth creation and job creation. Really, that's ultimately what we want to do. Because if we create wealth, we think that helps raise the standard of living and raise those funds and the general welfare of the communities in which we serve. Creating that wealth is what gives that discretionary income to grow an economy, to grow a local economy. It also allows for wealthy economies, and wealthy communities are able to donate more and support more job growth. And creating those jobs, obviously, is very important. Because whether we create 1 job or we help an entrepreneur create 100 jobs, those are folks that are able to stay in our communities and continue to contribute to our communities. And as many of you know in the positions that you hold, West Kentucky is having a challenge right now. We're having a challenge in maintaining our populations. And we've got to work to create opportunities for our young folks wherever they are in their education path, so that when they come out of that education path, they're able to find employment. they want to be able to pay bills and feed children and buy things and invest in their community. So part of what we try to do is work with those entrepreneurs, regardless of the size, to be able to create that job growth, create that wealth, and keep that community moving forward. As you can see, that's what our mission is there. Real briefly, these are some of the services that we offer. This is just a short list. Typically, business plans tend to be, and Lois will testify to that, probably 80% of what we get asked to do are work on business plans, whether it's an existing entrepreneur or someone that's trying to get started and secure financing. Walking an entrepreneur in our communities is very beneficial for that entrepreneur, because by walking through a business plan preparation, they have to complete that. We work with them. We don't complete any of this on our own. We work with them to complete that so they can understand their business, understand things like locations and who their customers are going to be and what the pricing models and all those things that go into making a business decision and running a business. That increases their chances of success, and of course that's what we're after, is creating success and making sure those businesses are successful in our communities, that they grow and again create wealth and jobs. Some of the other things you can see listed there: market planning, industry market research. We work very closely with those clients. We invested a number of years ago in the College of Business in a GIS program, which is a Geographic Information System program, and we use Esri to work with different communities and with employers and businesses of the size that it makes sense to engage that. But we open a whole lot of opportunities for information gathering, market researching, understanding the demographics of a particular region to help a business or to help a community make some decisions, whether it's an individual business or whether maybe it may be setting the goals for a community and understanding what its community looks like, where it's been, and possibly where it may be going. Feasibility, cash flow plans, financial statement analysis. We do strategic planning, working with clients, again, where the size can really have some impact and the engagement can have some impact. Looking at those strategic planning, what are their plans of growth for the next 3 to 5, et cetera, years. And then some turnaround assistance. We worked especially in 2008, 2009, you guys remember, we had a little bit of a recession going on, and so we had a lot of challenges with a lot of businesses. And we were able to pull many of those businesses back onto the radar and re-engage them and keep them open. And that was a great opportunity for us to really show some flexibility in working with communities, and how do we identify those businesses within those communities that need some assistance. And really it's all about everybody working together, because whether it's Lois or me or someone else, we may not necessarily know what businesses are struggling in our community, but all of you do. Within your leadership roles and with the positions that you hold, you have access. You hear what's going on in those communities and those businesses that are struggling. And in 2008 and 2009, we were able to really get engaged with those businesses and make a difference in their continuation. And we still rely on that relationship within each of our communities. In making those contacts and being able to say, what are the great opportunities? Where are the businesses that are wanting to start? Where are the opportunities where Murray State and the SBDC can fit in and be a partner when it's a great fit? What is our role in helping be that economic and entrepreneurial activist and catalyst in our communities? And so all of you in those positions are very key to us, and we hope that we're key to you in helping you make those successful businesses even more so successful. Here's our service area. I won't use the laser pointer because I don't want to hit the judge in the eye with this. I'm sure he appreciates that. But you can see kind of what our area is. It's what I call the real West Kentucky, all 24 counties. We're fully accredited by the ASBDC. I'm pretty proud of that. SBDCs are accredited throughout the nation in each state. We go through a rigorous examination every 4 years. And so when we talk about consulting and providing services and providing training, we have to meet a certain bar to receive that accreditation. And that accreditation is extremely important because the Small Business Administration seeks that accreditation when it works with our network to look at funding, when it partners with Murray State, but also WKU and EKU and the other universities that participate in the program. We're fully accredited. We just completed our last accreditation. I call it an examination. It could be called a lot of things. It's 3 hours plus of work and fun and interviews with a year's worth of putting together information. But we have been advised we're going to be fully accredited without any recommendations for improvement, and that's really important. It's important to me because what it is it's a great reaffirmation that the program is doing what it should be doing, and that the folks that we have on board are able to deliver for our communities. And so we're very excited about that, and that's a little bit of a bragging point. Real quickly, real briefly, what do we look like? Well, for the last 5 years, here are some numbers that I'll just put out there for you. We were able to generate within our region roughly $23 million in capital generation. That's business assistance. That's either funding that's come to the table through an individual who's invested some of their own money, maybe 20, 30% in a project that a bank's going to finance. It involves funding from lending institutions. It involves funding from other sources. But we were able to somehow help that client and work with the lender or the financier in putting that project together. So $23 million over a 5-year period is pretty strong. Last year, I think we exceeded our goals and exceeded nearly $6 million in 1 year, and I think we're on track to do that again for this year. 1,500 clients, over 8,300 counseling hours, and then training events. Lois and I will tell you we've done more training events, we've done more standing than sitting, I think, when it comes to trying to address our training, but 2,300 attendees. That's a lot of folks within our communities that have received some degree of training on a number of different topics, from business plans to social media to just all types of things and skill sets that we've worked with clients and attendees in trying to improve their skill sets and improve the operation of their business, whether it's working in their business or on their business. This is the last 12 months. Oh, I was right, 6.2 million in capitalization for the last year, over 270 clients, 1,500 hours of direct consulting hours, not counting other hours that we've worked with them on their behalf, and then multiple training events. Lois, if you don't mind handing out some of those brochures, what I want to do in closing is give you a brief update on a program that was started roughly 18 months ago. And I think that this program is very important to our region, and we've seen some success in this in the network. This is called the Grow Kentucky program, and if you see on the slide, it generally covers 4 areas: strategic marketing research, geographic information systems, which I mentioned, search engine optimization, and social media marketing. What we're trying to identify and grow Kentucky are those businesses within all of your communities that are ready to go to the next level, whether they're considering capacitizing for expansion, whether they're looking at growing in some particular other area, whatever the case may be. This is a great opportunity for our businesses in West Kentucky because the Grow Kentucky program is offered to us through the KSBDC network. This has grown out of a program which you may be familiar with, which is economic gardening. If you've heard that term and the initial work that was done in Littleton, Colorado, I think we're on the 6th or 7th version of the revision of economic gardening. But we actually have a team of folks that have been certified and trained in this latest version of how to work with businesses on moving them to the next level through an economic gardening aspect. And so under economic gardening, what we're trying to do is identify those businesses within our communities. We're going to grow our own. And so as many of you that have been involved in economic development or entrepreneurial development, you know it gets hard to find that new one and bring that new one into the community. So sometimes we want to look at what we already have in our community and see if there's a way to work with them to grow them, to create more jobs and create more wealth within that community. This is not for every single business entity, and I won't read through the brochure. You have that, and I hope that you take that back and review that. But those businesses within your communities which you have knowledge of or have information on that might be trying to grow, we really think this is a great opportunity. And the short version of this is we dedicate a team that works specifically with that business. And the success of that business really, in what we've seen already, have been tremendous. Some of these engagements result in potential call lists for businesses. We're able to mine new potential clients for those businesses, to look at their social media as well as their search engine optimization to make sure that they're out on the web to the degree that they can be. And some of the examples, well, some of the improvements that we've seen already have been over in Eastern Kentucky, and I think that this is one of those opportunities for our area given the challenges that we've had in the last 8 to 12 months. But in Eastern Kentucky, where they've had some coal mine closures, all those businesses that have been supported by those coal mine industries, they're still looking for business. They want to stay open as well. And so we've been able to engage some of those in Eastern Kentucky and actually find new markets for them and find new opportunities for them by being able to walk in and say, have you ever thought of this? Or have you considered doing this? And putting some things on those businesses' radar screens, both from those that have been suppliers to the industry, those that have been providers to the industry, all those businesses that obviously are impacted by the closure of a coal mine, we want to get in front of them and try to help them do that. And the team that's dedicated on this spends anywhere from 30 to 80 hours of direct contact, teleconferencing, working with them to try to save that industry, to save that business. And I think that there's some opportunity here for us as well. And we need your help in helping identify those companies as well. Where are those opportunities for us to engage? So I'll just say that in closing, I appreciate the opportunity to share some information with you. It's always great to be here and see the friends, and I'm just glad that I left at 7:30 and not 8:30, because I would definitely be coming in and you'd be going, where is he? But does anyone have any questions? I'm going to stick around. I hear there's an excellent lunch. You gotta love moonlight, so I'm not going to turn that away. But I'll be happy to stay around a little bit afterward. But if there are any questions now, I'll be happy to.
Chris,
Go ahead.
I know that the SBC staff do make a lot of trips to Henderson. They used to an office in Henderson in the past. I'm not sure, but can you kind of blow us or Chris kind of give us as far as how do you cover all the 7 counties?
Well, as I said, I think we go through enough Michelin tires, I think, a year to really repave some of the roads. But we have an office over in where Brad was over in Kendall, and Lois does make travel there. Obviously, we have our office here, and so we kind of share responsibilities with Madisonville. I'm covering Hopkinsville and Paducah, and then obviously Murray. So it's a lot of windshield time. But the idea is too we're trying to go where the need is, and so if a lot of our driving, or most of our driving, I would say, would be on appointments as well. So what we try to do is, if we can find those individuals that need it, we'll schedule those appointments and make that happen, whether it's a face-to-face meeting, whether maybe it's an initial telephone conference. We can do a lot of paperwork over the internet, through email. We do a lot of work over the telephone, and really depending, and if we need to get with that individual face-to-face, we're happy to do that. I'll be doing that this afternoon as well.
I do want to compliment Lois, and also Teresa. Whenever we have a project going on, there's a great team players that work on the office staff, along with the Kendall and the EDC folks as well.
Awesome.
We are facing the same challenge in Eastern Kentucky. May not be the businesses as much as the coal miners. So
Sure.
we'd like to see the SPDC reach out to see what can we do about fill the gap of the skills that is needed.
Absolutely, and I think, the university, and again, where it's appropriate, we want to be that activist and catalyst for economic development. So finding out where those partners are and where the university can fit in, obviously with WKU and the other players and the other folks that are involved, is there a role and how can we help that? Obviously, because how our region goes economically is how it goes education-wise, and the reverse is true as well. And so just finding those opportunities to where we can all play together and where's a good fit and how we can improve the conditions and move the needle is key, not only through the SBDC, but what else can we do in the other areas like the GIS and those other things. We're happy to be involved where it makes sense and where it's a good fit. Yes, any other questions?
Chris,
Yes, sir.
the SBDC is such a key program for our region, and appreciate what you do immensely. And it worries me that in the era now of education cuts, especially post-secondary, the SBDC might be threatened. And is there a sense of whether the SBDC office in Owensboro, because it's pretty far distance from Murray State, as well as the satellite location, is threatened in any way by those funds? You feel confident you can keep doing what you're doing?
Well, I appreciate you bringing that up, and it is a very real threat. It's a very real possibility. For those of you who may be familiar, SIU, basically zero balanced out there SBDC program effective July 1. And so due to budget cuts and constraints, and obviously I would imagine we're all familiar with the issues that Illinois is dealing with budget-wise, their SBDC was basically defunded. And so they have, I think, one individual that's kind of keeping the lights on. And so it's a possibility? Absolutely. And as funds get tighter, we have to understand that universities are all about teaching and learning. The outreach program that we have here has impact, but we also have to be familiar and realize that's a threat, that's a possibility. I can tell you that Dr. Davies and Dr. Todd are 100% committed to the SBDC. I've met with both of them numerous times, and they've not indicated any propensity or desire to do any of that. Finding extra dollars are difficult, but as far as where we are in terms of funding, I think that we're good. We're as good as far as I feel comfortable saying in the next program year. The university's committed to it. Of course, part of that funding also comes from Congress through the SBA and through the KSBDC, so we have a continuing resolution all the way up to December 9th. Yay. I'm not sure what the rest of the year is going to look like, so we'll see what happens on December 9th. If Congress authorizes money, then we'll be able to continue to partner with that. But I sense that there is no wavering from the President or from Dr. Todd, the support for the SBDC at this point and the work that we do. And I would encourage you to share that information with them if you have concerns or whatnot. We always like to have good press, and they like to understand that what we're doing has impact. But I appreciate the question. It is a threat, but how real it is, we'll see what the next round of budget cuts look in the next coming year, and what decisions have to be made. But at this point, there's no wavering of it. They've assured me that their support's 100%. Thank you for the question. I appreciate it. Well, it's been great visiting with you. Like I said, I'm going to stick around afterward, and if you have any questions, we'd love to meet with you. Thank you so much. Appreciate it.
Presentation, there's your coffee cup.
Thank you, sir.